Hey guys, Local Pyro again. By the miracle of modern technology, we are back. I'm sorry, this is probably run into just another video straight after the one you've just watched. What I said, just to recap, was that I was going to wire up the field module with an electric match, and I've done so. So let's carry on from that point. We've wired this up, and you can see that just like you would wire up a hi-fi speaker or something like that, there's no difference between which one you put in. There's no polarity involved. Just make sure that it's connected correctly, and most importantly, these two wires aren't touching. That is going to be a source of continuity errors that you will get. Okay, imagine you've got all 12 cues all wired up nicely. It's going to be your job to come up with a way to make it all nice and neat and finesse it so none of these are touching and they're all connected correctly. And you'll be testing continuity to make sure they are connected correctly. And how are you going to do that? Well, on this particular unit, you would have it on test. So let's just think of the starting point, which would be that. I've got my key. Switch my unit on. Remember, now we've got a live electric match, and potentially you may have gone ahead and connected that to a firework. So bear that in mind when it comes to safety. You are thinking about safety all the time when you are doing this show. So anyway, on this unit we're going to switch it to test. And you can see that we get, well, I've got 12 cues and only one of them's filled. And each one, 1 through to 11, has a red light and a green light. But number 12, you can see, has no red light and a nice green light, which means the continuity is good. It's good to go. The one thing that the continuity check will not show is that if your firework on the other end is not connected correctly to the electric match, and you can see the electric match here, it's got like a little bead of something on the end there, it's lacquered so it's waterproof. It's like a match head. Burns a little bit more impressively than a match head, but nevertheless that's pretty much what it's like. We're going to be attaching this to Visco Fuse. Sorry, it's not particularly in focus there. And so how are we going to do that? It's quite tricky to do that. Also notice that you have a green shroud on this one. The application of this can be that it fits into another component on the firework and connects together. You tape it up and you're good to go. But by and large, for this kind of show, the kind of fireworks that you would buy in shops in the UK non-professionally, category 1 or category 2 or category 3. I think category 1 fireworks are like indoor fireworks, things like that, ice fountains and things. It's going to be quite hard to ignite that green sort of string Visco fuse that you see on fireworks. We're not actually going to do that. There is ways to do it, and it can be a bit hit and miss, but sometimes you may have to. But if you can, what I want you to do is to get yourself some quick match, okay, which is paper covered black 5-string Chinese match. And you can just about see it there. I don't know if you can actually see it really, but it's actually in focus for once. You can't see, but there are 5 strands of sort of like gunpowder coated string in there, and when it's ignited it burns very fast indeed. So what we're going to do is take our Visco fuse on our firework and shove it into this bucket that we've got kind of there, and then tape it up. Watch it, by the way, when you cut off little bits of quick match like this, because the bits of gunpowder coated string, the black match inside, can fall out. So be careful of that. You're doing it in the dark, you might not notice it's all falling out. You tape it up, think you're good to go, fire it in the show, and you've got a misfire because there's no black match inside. So look out for that one. So we've successfully connected the firework, and we've successfully connected it to our field module. So you may want to think now about how we're going to lay out our fireworks, how much money may be going sort of even further back we've spent on fireworks. If you've got, you just bought a small box of fireworks from a local supermarket or something, and you're just having a bit of fun playing around with one of these, then it's no big deal. But if you've done a few things before, a few shows before, and you're used to firing bigger cakes and things, and you've got a nice budget where you've been able to afford to buy some nice impressive cakes and big rockets and things of that nature, set pieces, you really want to think about a plan. What are you going to have at the start of your show, in the middle of your show? What's the sort of main body of the show going to be? Are you going to have a false finale leading into a main finale? Those kind of things. You've invested in one of these, so why not try and do it a bit more professionally? Are you going to have a friend that's going to hand fire things with you? Are you going to hand fire things yourself as well as using the remote control? Have you reviewed all the safety aspects? And if you're going to do it with a friend, have you reviewed the safety aspects and sort of how you're going to think about safety through your show with your friend? All sorts of things like that. Anyway, when it comes to actually firing the show, you imagine you have tested continuity, everything's working, your fireworks are laid out correctly, you know what you're doing. Bearing in mind that later on it's going to be damp, it's going to be cold, it's going to be dark. Don't trip over your field wires that are connecting your fireworks together and things like that. Unfortunately, but very necessarily, you're going to learn by your mistakes in your first few shows, but it's a lot of fun. Anyway, it comes to show time, 10 minutes or a quarter of an hour or half an hour, depending on how long your show is going to be or how much you've got set up. Or you'd think, well, you need to allow for errors, basically. You need to test continuity again. So you imagine you've initially tested continuity and got everything set up, but maybe you've changed a few things around. You need to test continuity again before your show. Switch on your module, test continuity, make sure everything's good. Allow yourself time. It's not going to be a big deal with a back garden show, but I think it shows professionalism if you're going to try to do this kind of thing, to stick to time. Anyway, so in this particular unit, we've tested continuity for the final time, and it is going to be show time. We switch the unit to arm. All the lights go out. On this particular one, when we press a button, a light will come on to show we've actually fired that cue, which is quite cool. But anyway, so we grab our remote, which we've had switched off all the time. You put it to on. I'm not actually going to ignite this in here because we're indoors. But anyway, what we would do is, we're on Q12 on this, so what I would do would press Q12. So you notice it didn't actually go. And then your show's away. So maybe you've got your beginning, which is a few impressive fireworks, and you're continuing through the body of your show. Maybe if you think it's getting a bit boring, you could let rip on a couple, or even be reckless and do 3. By the way, with this module, you can actually wire it up so that you can have 2 firing at a time, and many other things that you can do with it as well. You can set frequencies so modules can talk to each other and all sorts of things. It's a lot of fun. As I said, this is a fairly inexpensive. It's about £85-90, this one, but it's very good. As I said, this is a Remotech one. So you've had a great show, and by the way, if you did make a mistake and it was a bit rough in the middle or something, as long as you have a good finale, that's what they're going to remember at the end, so bear that in mind. After your show, you want to switch off your modules and then you're safe then. Sometimes with bigger fireworks they can actually be on fire. You may want to put those out. It just depends really. Also bear in mind that you're going to want to clear up. If it's your own show in your own back garden, it's no big deal. You just switch off your module, disconnect your wires, take the module out of the way. It'll be nicely seasoned with, I don't know, clay powder and bits of paper and all sorts of stuff. It'll look quite cool. Take your module out of the way, get rid of your fireworks that are spent, the cases and things. Wait till the morning and then you can rake up all the bits off your lawn. But if it's a friend's house, bear in mind there will be quite a lot of fallout with the, you know, lots of big cakes and things like that. So be considerate and make sure that you clean up. Again, if it's a friend and you're very, very local to them, you might want to go around in the morning and clear up. But if not, make sure you have adequate lighting to clear up all the bits of paper. It's just common courtesy, isn't it, really? Okay, I think I've been through most of the aspects of firing a small electric show. One thing I would like to add is that if anyone knows this, they could help me. This is a sort of basic radio frequency unit for this particular module, and you can't buy it anymore. And I'm having problems with this particular remote, and I want to know if I can use any other RF remote control other than this one, or do I have to have the exact one to match with this? I'm thinking that you don't, but before I go ahead and buy something, I could do with some advice on that. Yeah, so can I use just any RF module, remote unit with this particular field module? Okay, well, thank you for listening to all that. I hope it's been informative. I would like to thank you so much, guys, for subscribing to my channel. It's very, very kind of you. I'd like to give a big shout out to a great YouTuber, great channel. His name's Cozy. Check him out. Fantastic fireworks channel. There's loads of great videos and unboxings and all sorts of things. So God bless you, mate. Thank you so much. And for everyone, I will see you in the next video. Take care and God bless. Bye.